This video is all about, is LooksRare going to overtake OpenSea? And if so, is it worth buying Looks today at the rock bottom price of 93% below all-time highs? My name is Chasse. I've been in crypto for 10 years. On this channel, we go into the deep dives about the best projects in crypto and tell you everything that you need to know in the world of blockchain. So if you're excited to know if I'm gonna make the move to invest into LooksRare, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and let's get into it. Okay guys, so about a month ago, we were making this video about the top 10 tools that I use to get ahead of the game. And one of them was Dune Analytics. And when we were making the video, I just randomly went to one of the threads and it was LooksRare versus OpenSea data. Let's just go look through Dune Analytics and see what they've got here. So here's kind of this like thing with all this stuff here. What should we look at? I like this, I don't know, LooksRare versus OpenSea. LooksRare. Okay, this is cool. Another dashboard, right? So now we can go and look. Now we can go look and see what LooksRare is doing compared to OpenSea. What I saw on the screen when I was recording that video actually blew me away to see the traction that LooksRare was getting. I had to look in deeper. I had to find out what was going on. So this video is going to go all into what did I find in this investigation, and am I going to invest in LooksRare today, and how is it possible that it is doing more volume than OpenSea? Well, guys, I'll tell you that we aren't sure if that's actually the case. Let's get into some of the research. So the promise of LooksRare is really what you want to see from a project. You want to see something that takes a legacy idea, something like OpenSea that exists. It's very centralized. They comply with all DMCA takedown notices, and it makes a ton of money. In fact, last year it made around $350 million. So LooksRare said, we're going to do that, right? And what they did is they did a vampire attack on OpenSea, meaning that they dropped their Looks tokens to everybody. And this was a really great start because what it did is it generated a tremendous amount of volume and attention to LooksRare. That caused them to get listed on almost all the different exchanges. Now we saw this as well with OpenDAO, but OpenDAO really didn't have a product. So it definitely hasn't been performing or maintaining attention like LooksRare has. So of course, the only way that I can see through Tokenomics right now is that they're gonna have to sell the 10% that they set aside for future developments, which creates down pressure on the token. But if they create a really great product with a lot of demand, then that should be okay because there should be more buy pressure and demand for the token rather than what they need to sell into the market. It's not my favorite way for a team to generate money. I think that they should have it baked into the economy, but maybe they'll take some notes from the community and maybe revise the way the token flows to the economy. So if we go to the dashboard and just look right away here, LooksRare total volume, it says almost $26 billion. Here it says the OpenSea total volume since LooksRare launched at $20 billion. So this is pretty hard to believe. They're saying that in the time that LooksRare launched, it is doing $6 billion more that same time period than OpenSea. Like, this doesn't make any sense. So there's a really long thread over here by Hill Dobby, who actually basically created a lot of the data inputs on Dune Analytics. In short, going through this entire thing, he turned on a few filters, and what they noticed was things like a lot of the traders were taking advantage of the incentive mechanism or the rewards mechanism. And what he found was that a lot of wallets were trading back and forth to each other. And even though they had to pay the 2% fee, the rewards that they were earning from wash trading with each other actually was more profitable than the fee that they had to pay. So he noticed a lot of charts that looked very inorganic. If you look on the Dune Analytics dashboard and you turn on the wash trading filter, you can see that the actual real volume during that time from LooksRare is only about 1 billion versus 26 billion. Also, you can see that OpenSea has passed the 1 million user mark, where LooksRare has about 75,000 users. It's still, in my opinion, pretty awesome growth. Even $1 billion in sales and volume in 6 months and 75,000 users is good growth. When I first made this video that I talked to you guys about a month ago, it was pretty astonishing. Almost all the green on these Dune Analytics charts was about halfway. You could see, or in a lot of instances, you saw more volume than you saw in OpenSea. The green on this represents LooksRare, the blue is OpenSea. When we looked at this chart in particular back in the video, it was about 50-50. LooksRare was kind of dominating, but what we can see recently is LooksRare isn't even making a dent on these charts, whereas OpenSea is just dominating. Why this has happened? Well, we can see from the news that's happening recently that Solana NFTs have been overtaking Ethereum in volume. And since LooksRare right now doesn't offer Solana NFTs, of course, OpenSea has just been crushing it with volume from Solana. LooksRare will probably implement Solana sooner or later, It took OpenSea a while to do it. So we'll just have to see with the lack of resources they have. Maybe they don't, maybe they have enough, I'm not sure. But we'll see how long it takes them to implement Solana. It leaves a question of what's going to happen moving forward. So we can see right now that the circulating supply is only about 25% of the max supplies. This means that we can still expect to see a lot of inflation moving forward. Another thing that I haven't found out yet is, does the team have a plan to fix the economics? Is there a way to prevent the wash trading and make sure that the rewards are being preserved for people who are actually using the platform in its intended use case versus just a way to exploit, manipulate the system to cash in? Another thing about LooksRare is I really can't find any information about it being decentralized. I don't see a DAO. What I see right now is a centralized platform with anonymous founders, which makes sense why they want to be anonymous, because they can easily then avoid things like DMCA takedown notices or pressure from authorities or whatever they want to do. So we saw in the news, that the OpenSea employees would basically use hidden wallets or non-wallets to buy the NFTs of the things that were about to get listed on the front page of OpenSea. Now, this is called Frontrunning. Basically, when someone's using insider information or just information they have to get ahead of the general public in order to get a hold of that asset and buy it and then sell it when the community finds out about it. When the price pumps, they sell out and use the community as exit liquidity, essentially. The emission schedules, or the new tokens coming into circulation from minting, is now in phase 3, which reduces every phase. So last phase, it was 380 to 100. Now it's 150 looks per block. So on Ethereum, every block is about 15 seconds. So you can see that the emissions have been cut down to more than half. And this will continue to do so over time until the emissions are reduced to zero. But it is causing still inflation. So my impression right now is that I'm not sure that LooksRare has got there yet in all the aspects. I think that there's a lot of work to do on the economic model. I think there's a lot of questions to be asked still on the way that things will continue to develop over time. And I think that I know of some other people building some marketplaces, for example, Elio Trades, who claims to be building, a truly decentralized NFT marketplace, and he claims will smoke OpenSea. There's still room for winners, and I'm not yet convinced that LooksRare is that one. But just like the internet boom of the 90s, the original winners, the original guys that were out ahead, they didn't end up being the winners at the end of the day. Remember the Yahoo, AOL, MySpace? Everyone thought that they were going to be the Googles and Amazons of today, but the Googles and Amazons didn't come along until they observed everybody that was doing things first, found the shortcomings, were able to improve upon that, and really tackle the market when the time was right. So do I think that LooksRare will be an OpenSea killer? I'm not sure, but so far I'm not convinced. And for that reason, right now, I'm not going to go into LooksRare. The market, first of all, is too turmoil. There's too much inflation still to come. There's too many questions that I have, and I'm excited to see who else comes out with something. Guys, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and make sure that you hit the bell, because the content I make is from deep dives and due diligence I do, and oftentimes I'm the first one to bring these videos to you guys. So make sure you subscribed, do me a favor, like the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.